All right, so let's talk about something that's been making a ton of noise online lately. Maybe you've seen the headlines, or those YouTube thumbnails screaming about Toyota dropping a brand new electric car for $17,999. Yeah, that's right, under 18 grand for a brand new EV. The kind of price that makes you do a double take, especially when you think about what most electric cars cost these days. I mean, for that price, you're usually looking at a used Corolla with a few dings, not a shiny, high-tech electric car. So, what's the real story here? Is Toyota actually about to flip the whole EV market upside down with this move? Or is this just another case of the internet getting a little too excited? Let's break it down together. First off, I gotta say, I love when stuff like this pops up because it gets people talking. You know, you're scrolling through your feed and suddenly everyone's an expert on batteries and car prices. But here's the thing. There's a lot of hype, and sometimes it's hard to tell what's actually happening versus what's just wishful thinking. So, I dug into the details, checked out what Toyota's really up to, and I gotta tell you, it's a pretty interesting story. But before we get too deep into it, if you're into this kind of thing, breaking down the latest tech news, figuring out what's real and what's just internet noise, or just want to stay ahead of the curve with what's happening in the car world, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I love having these conversations with you, and there's always something new popping up. All right, back to Toyota. So here's what's got everyone buzzing. Toyota, the same company that basically made hybrids mainstream with the Prius, is now supposedly launching an all-new electric car for just under 18 grand. That's wild, right? Especially when you look at what's out there right now. I mean, the cheapest Tesla you can get your hands on, the Model 3, starts at almost 40 grand before any incentives, and even the more affordable EVs from other brands are usually in the mid-20s, if not higher. So Toyota coming in with a price that low? It's like they're saying, hey, we're not just joining the EV party, we're changing the whole game. But, and this is a big but, there's a little more to the story. A lot of the hype is coming from what Toyota's doing in China right now. You see, over there, they've actually launched a super affordable electric car called the Bozi 3X. In China, it starts at around 105,000 yuan, which, when you do the math, is about 14 or 15,000 US dollars. Even the more decked-out version is under 20 grand. So yeah, those numbers are real, at least if you're in China. And this car isn't just some stripped-down, bare-bones thing either. It's got a modern design, a big touchscreen, voice, controls, all that stuff you'd expect in a much pricier car. Plus, it's using this battery tech from BYD, one of the biggest names in batteries right now. That's all about safety, long life, and fast charging. We're talking about getting to 80% charge in under half an hour, which is pretty impressive for an entry-level EV. Now here's where things get interesting. People see what's happening in China and start asking, okay, so when is this coming to the US? Are we about to see a brand new Toyota EV for under 18 grand at our local dealership? And honestly, I get why everyone's excited. If Toyota can pull this off here, it would be a total game changer. Think about it. Suddenly, driving electric isn't just for people with big budgets or those who want to make a statement. It becomes something anyone can do. That's huge. But, and I know this isn't as exciting, Toyota hasn't actually announced a car at that price for the US or Europe yet. As of right now, this super affordable EV is only for the Chinese market, and that's kind of a big deal, because the car market in China is totally different from here. Over there, the government's really pushing EVs. There's a ton of competition, and prices are way more aggressive. It's like the Wild West for electric cars, with every company trying to outdo each other on price and features. Here in the States, things move a little slower. There's more regulation, different safety standards, and, let's be honest, we like our cars big and loaded with features. Plus, the cost of doing business is just higher. So, while it's totally possible that Toyota could bring something like this over here, there's no official word yet. They have said they're planning to launch a bunch of new EVs in the next couple of years, like up to 15 different models by 2027. but none of them have been officially priced as low as what we're seeing in China. Still, the fact that Toyota can even make a car like this at that price is pretty wild. It shows just how quickly things are changing. I mean, a few years ago, the idea of a brand new electric car for under 20 grand would have sounded like science fiction. Now, it's happening, at least in some parts of the world. And you know what? This isn't just about Toyota. The whole EV market is shifting. You've got Tesla, which basically put electric cars on the map for a lot of people, but their prices have been creeping up. Then you have BYD, which is huge in China and starting to make moves in other countries. And now Toyota's jumping in with their own spin, using BYD's battery tech, by the way, which is kind of funny if you think about it. It's like all these big players are borrowing from each other, trying to find the magic formula. So, what does all this mean for us? Well, for starters, it means that affordable EVs are coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this year, but soon. The fact that Toyota can do this in China means it's only a matter of time before we start seeing similar prices here. Sure, there'll be some bumps along the way. Stuff like tariffs, different safety rules, and just the general cost of selling cars in the US. But the writing's on the wall. The days of electric cars being a luxury item are numbered. And honestly, that's a good thing. I mean, think about how much the car market changed when the Prius first came out. Suddenly, hybrids weren't just for eco-warriors. They were for everyone. I remember seeing Priuses everywhere, from the Whole Foods parking lot to the local high school. If Toyota can do the same thing with EVs, it could totally change the game. But let's get back to the details for a second. The Boji 3X in China has some pretty cool features for the price. It's got this modular platform that's all about being lightweight and safe, which helps with efficiency and range. The battery, like I mentioned, is this lithium iron phosphate thing from BYD, which is known for being super safe and lasting a long time. You can get a big chunk of charge in less than 30 minutes, which is honestly faster than most people spend at a coffee shop. Inside, it's not some bare-bones economy car either. We're talking a big touchscreen, voice controls, over-the-air updates, so your car gets better over time, just like your phone. And even an app so you can check on your car from anywhere. All the stuff that a few years ago, you'd only see in a Tesla or a high-end German car. Now, if you're wondering how this stacks up against what we've got here, let's do a quick comparison. The cheapest Tesla Model 3 you can buy in the US is almost 40 grand. The Chevy Bolt, which was one of the most affordable EVs here, is gone, or at least taking a break. Nissan Leaf? Still more expensive than this Toyota. Even the new wave of cheaper EVs coming from other brands are usually in the mid-20s, if not higher. So yeah, Toyota's price in China is a big deal. But like I said, it's not just about price. It's about what you get for your money. Toyota's not cutting corners here. They're using good tech, solid batteries, and packing in features that make the car feel modern. That's what makes this so exciting. It's not just a cheap car, it's a good car for cheap. So where does that leave us? Well, for now, we're watching and waiting. Toyota's made it clear they're serious about EVs. They've got this big plan to launch a ton of new models over the next few years, and they're investing a ton of money in battery tech, including some wild stuff like solid-state batteries, which could make charging even faster and give you more range. If they can pull that off, it could be another game changer. But, and this is important, don't believe everything you see in the headlines. There's a lot of clickbait out there, and not all of it is true. As of today, there's no official word from Toyota about a $17,999 EV coming to the US. The car is real, but it's only in China for now. That said, the fact that they can do it there means it's probably only a matter of time before we see something similar here. The market's moving fast, and nobody wants to get left behind. So if you're thinking about making the switch to electric, or you're just curious about what's coming, next, keep your eyes on Toyota. They've got the scale, the experience, and now, apparently, the ability to make a really affordable EV. It might not show up at your local dealership tomorrow, but the future's looking pretty bright, and a lot more affordable. And hey, if You want to stay up to date on all this stuff. When the next big announcement drops or when Toyota finally brings that super cheap EV over here, make sure you're subscribed. I'll keep breaking it down, separating the hype from what's actually happening, and making sure you know what's real and what's just internet noise. All right, that's it for today. Let me know what you think. Would you buy a Toyota EV? For under 18 grand? What features would you want to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out.